Okay, let's go.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's video. Today we're going to be going over one of my top bench tips that I don't think gets brought up enough or really at all within the powerlifting space, and something that I think a lot of people could implement to improve their bench, to improve your bench going forward into the next couple months and for all eternity, because we're going to be benching till for forever, because this game don't stop, this train ain't stopping. So let's get right into it. Today's bench tip is something that my coach suggested to me about a year and a half ago. And ever since I implemented it, I couldn't be happier with my bench. It's really sent my bench going from somewhere between like a 385 to 395 competition bench to now we're hoping to hit 200 kilos, which is 440 pounds at nationals is the goal. And I think it's very doable in large part because of this tip. And just like all my other videos, I'm going to start with the caveat that this tip is not going to single-handedly send your bench going forward into the future. It's not going to just like send it like 100 pounds overnight or anything like that. But if you implement this along with solid programming, nutrition, and lifestyle choices, your bench will grow and you'll be very happy with the gains that you have had. So hope you guys enjoy this week's video. Let's get right into it. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of videos and articles across the web that are covering exactly what we're covering today. And I've even made some videos on the same topic on how to increase your bench press. And a lot of these have to do with, bench grip width, programming, scapular retraction or depression. And all of those are great tips and all tips that I think that you should try to explore and why I make videos about them. But one tip that I just have not seen enough is the one thing we'll be talking about today, and one that I think everyone should be implementing. Have you ever been scrolling through social media and you see a video captioned "new bench PR"? And as you watch the person unrack the weight, it looks like it could be a little bit too much weight for that person. Maybe it's a 170-pound dude in there, benching like 4 plates or whatever, which is a solid bench without a doubt. But they drop the weight to their chest, just like free fall. They drop to their chest. But right before the bar hits their chest, their hips shoot up. And the next thing you know, their hips are like a foot above the bench. And they grind out the press. And finally, they get to rack the weight. And then they like stand up and get way too hyped. And you cringe. And they put on their ski mask. And it is just really sus. The reason that they were able to lift the weight that they did was because of a declined torso position, decreased range of motion, and decreased elbow flare. Not to mention that, when you shoot your hips up, it's going to bounce the bar off your chest even harder. But what if there was a competition legal way, that we could elicit the same advantages that that person did on their bench, but it would be competition legal? The answer that I have observed both in my training and those that I suggest to people that I run across in the gym who ask me tips on bench, or friends or whoever it may be, is to have the soft touch of your butt on the bench. In other words, instead of letting my glutes sink into the bench, I contract them hard and touch them to the pad only with the slightest contact, letting at most 5% of my body weight be supported through my glutes. Through this, there are many advantages that you can gain from your bench, just like that person who have their hips shooting up. Since we have risen the position of our hips through not letting our glutes sink in, we allow our sternum to rise, which limits the range of motion that you have to bench. This is obviously beneficial when trying to maximize the load when lifting. This isn't necessarily the best position if you want to have the biggest stretch and have the most growth for your chest or your tris through the bench press. We're simply trying to maximize load here. So by decreasing range of motion, we're going to be able to lift more. Next, since we are no longer supporting a large portion of the weight in our glutes, we have more weight to hold through our legs and upper back. This benefits our bench by ensuring the constant tension in our legs that hold the weight. And this tension ensures that leg drive will be much more consistent throughout the bench press, and the likelihood of feet slipping is decreased because instead of just driving your feet horizontally, you're carrying a lot more of that weight down staples your feet to the floor. And lastly, our new decline torso position allows for much more weight to be held on the upper traps and rear delts. This makes it easier to depress your scapula and make sure that your elbows will not flare. This creates a more consistent, stronger bench with a decreased injury risk. So next time you try benching, only allow the slightest touch of your glutes to the bench. At first, it may seem like the weight is falling towards the rack when you press, like it just shoots back, and that's okay. Just like any technique or anything that you're trying to implement new in your training, give it some time. Don't try to start something and then quit it the next day. Be consistent with it, even if it's just for your top set and something you want to try out. Try out this tip, and I assure you that it will help your bench so much. It's helped me a lot, and I can see for a lot of people that have given this tip to, it's helped theirs a lot too. That's going to be it for this week's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you can see a lot of gains in your bench from this bench tip. And I hope that you can subscribe, give me a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. More content is coming. Peace.